and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what an object is in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you are new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So let's get started. Okay, everybody. So today's lesson is going to be a little bit different. We are not going to be using MDN and we're not going to be using W3 schools because today's lesson is more as a flash lesson about objects. In fact, we're going to come back to this topic again with more actually deep understanding of what an object is. But for now, I just want you to understand the basic in how to recognize an object and how to code an object in JavaScript in a simple way. Okay? An object is pretty much a data structure in JavaScript. Okay, remember when we spoke about primitive data types and I was explaining to you that we have several data types and I put some complex data types in there. So object is one of them. Object is one of the complex data types that we will have in JavaScript. But we can say that an object is also a data structure in JavaScript that is going to allow you to store and organize related data and also its functionality. Okay, so we could say also that an object is a collection of key value pairs where each key is actually a unique string and it could serve as a name or as a value per se. And the value can be any data type inside that object. It could be another object. It could be a function, which we haven't taken a look at yet, and we will. And also, it could be any primitive value, like the one that we have seen so far, like string. It could be a number. It could be a Boolean, you name it. So let me go ahead and actually show you what an object is and how it looks like into our code so that you are clear in what an object is. Okay? So let's open Visual Studio Code. I only have open in this episode are the website that we have been working with so far. So I'm going to open Visual Studio Code right now. And we're going to delete everything that we have written down in here. Okay. The first thing that I am going to do is create an object. So since it's, as I explained before, another data type, we can go ahead and actually create an object with a variable. So let's say where I'm going to use the keyword const for this object because we're not going to change its value later on. So const, and let's call this const person. Okay. So this person is going to equal, and then we're going to open curly brackets. So an object will always be inside, it'll always have curly brackets. After you have declare your variable, you're going to open curly brackets. Because, as I said before, it's a combination of a lot of data here. So inside of an object, we can say that this person's name is, and then I'm going to assign a string to the name, and this name is John, right? Then let's give a comma and then hit enter. And then we can say that John has an age of, I don't know, let's give it a number now, a different data type. Let's say that John is 25 years old. Then let's see. We can say that John's occupation is, let's do a string again. We can say that John's occupation is a software developer, just like you and me. Okay, so software developer, and that's it. Okay, so let's just stick with that right now. I'm going to hit save just to make sure. And now, as you can see, this is how an object will look like. It'll have curly brackets. It'll start with curly brackets. And then inside of those curly brackets, you might see this as other as other variables. You could say, oh, inside of that object we have other variables. But they have a different name inside of an object. And I will cover that in our next episode. Right now, I just want you to see how an object looks like. Okay, so here we have this object. It's the name of this object is person, and that person contains more information. Like we can know their name, we can know their age, and we can know their occupation. So it's pretty much a group of information that you will find inside of the declared variable, which we call an object. Okay. So now what can we do with this object, you might be asking? Well, this is pretty simple. I'm going to hit save and let's go back to our code because I'm going to go to the console and I want to clear all this out. Hit refresh just to make sure that everything is empty here. Perfect. So going back here, let's use console.log, which I know that you might be very familiar with right now. So take a look and see what you can do with an object. You can do console.log, and then we can say, okay, console.log, give me the person, which is this keyword right here, right? The name of our object. And I want to know the name of this person. So you will use the operator, the dot, okay? And then the person, the name, right? The name keyword. Again, don't worry about knowing the names of this right now or how they are called inside of the object, because as I said, later on in this course, I am going to cover in depth all this, okay? Right now, I just want you to see what an object is and what you can do with it, okay? Just to show you a flash lesson of an object, because next week, we're going to be getting into functions. We are going to be getting into properties, methods, and some other things that you will see and will make sense when we come back to the object again, okay? So again, what we're going to do is console.log the person, but we're going to only console.log the name of that person. So we put a dot and then name. And then as soon as we do that, I'm going to close this and then let's hit save. Going back to our code, what do you think it's going to be the result when I hit run? Okay, I hope you got it. It should be the person's name, which is John. So let's go ahead and let's hit refresh. And boom, you see? Now the console is giving us this person's name. Now we can also do console.log, and then in parentheses we can say, okay, give me the person dot age. I want to know what's the age of this person. Okay, so let's hit save. I'm going back to our code. Let's hit refresh. John is 25 years old. Okay, and then another thing that you can do is go ahead and display its occupation. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I'll give you the challenge right now. Okay, I hope you managed to do it. Let's go ahead and actually do it with you now. So console.log, and then in parentheses, again, you will put person dot, and then you got it, occupation. Now, something I did here, which is not recommended, I started occupation with capital letters. I'm going to change this to lowercase, okay? Because it's always better to start the names of your variables or the name of any property here, just, with lowercase letters. So just change that to lowercase. So person dot, and then occupation, okay? And then I'm going to close this. Let's hit save. Going back to our code, if I hit refresh, now I know that he is a software developer. So John has 25 years old and he is a software developer. So just like that, you have created your first object in JavaScript. I hope this was clear and you know the basics in what an object is right now. If you want, I encourage you to go to MDN. You can search for the keyword object and you can read a little bit more about it. However, as I said before, don't worry too much into the big details of an object, because you can also add inside of this object a function. You can add and some other info. So I am not going to cover that just yet, but I do want you to know at this point in our course what an object is. And you will know why in our next episode. Okay, everybody. So that was it for today's episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone, and see you again in the next episode.